Hi, welcome. My name is Chrissy. In this video, I'm going to be giving you a channeled updated prediction reading for the 30th of January. Now, I'm just going to close my eyes. For anyone new to the channel, I just give psychic updates and I just let the energies flow through from my guides to you. So I'm just going to close my eyes and we'll just get started and we'll see what energies and what's kind of coming up on this day of the 30th of January moving forward into 2022. Now I'm getting that the herd immunity is not working. So I'm getting clear messages that the herd has actually like pushed down the fences now. So this is like a collapsing. So they're showing me like all the herds kind of running wild now. And it's like they're trying to get some sort of order and bring things back into like within the gates and the confines, but it's actually not working. That the cows have sort of seen greener pastures and they've kind of run off into the distance and they're on the hills and they're over behind that tree, and it's almost getting impossible now to contain these things. So that's definitely something really clear that I'm seeing, is that herd immunity is kind of what they've created is not working, and there's like this sort of stampede. So it's like the stampede and they've pushed those fences down and the cattle and the herds have kind of just taken off into the distance, and this is obviously around people. They're finding it very hard to contain these things now. I think we all know there's been a lot of lies and deception and things going on around the current energies, that things can't be hidden anymore, and I think people are trying to find their way clear by breaking through those barriers now. And that's the significance of the fencing, is barriers in all avenues, barriers in trying to find our voices, barriers is in pushing forward to our freedoms, barriers of fighting against just sort of getting back our democratic rights, I guess, is something that we're sort of fighting for as well here. But I really feel like now a lot of these fences are being pushed down and people are starting to really break free and just run now and find clearer ground, and sort of almost like in the analogy of the cattle, greener pastures. We're all looking for greener pastures. People are wanting to have happiness in their life. They're tired of their life being squashed and having all their happiness and joy taken away. So that's definitely the analogy that I'm getting, is that pushing down of the fences and everybody's just kind of dispersing. People are tired of being vilified. I really feel like the vilification has got out of control, and it's not being managed very well at all. Vilification is around a lot of different avenues too. I don't just mean about unvaccinated people. This is also happening for people who haven't got the correct number of jabs, I will put it, because now there's becoming, like I said, we're getting broken down into smaller divisions as well now. So there's the people who've had double jabs, there's people who've had one jab, there's people who've had 3 jabs. We're all being put into categories, and of course there's the no jabs. So I still feel like things are being broken down. That's definitely an energy that I'm getting. And it's almost like still putting more fear and panic into these people who are only singly jabbed, who are doubly jabbed, because they don't want to be ostracized and they don't want to be vilified. They saw what happened to a lot of people already. So now their fears and panic is rising up because they don't want to be left behind. So it's kind of causing this huge vibration where people are starting to panic again because they feel like they're going to be vilified. So this is something that I'm continuously seeing in this energy rising up now, that people are still got, I can even feel it in my chest, there's a real lot of panic, because not only are they not seeing positive results sort of from the jabs, but they're also being vilified because they've got to kind of keep staying on that path and going down that road because they don't want to be seen differently. So there's definitely a lot of panic happening around that. Meanwhile, the sort of unjabbed are still sitting over in this kind of calmer place where it's almost like now they're kind of looking at it from the outside looking in, and they can see all this kind of unfolding where things are being separated again. And I talked about that in my video the other day about separating things into smaller categories. And I think that's definitely something that's still going on in the current energies. And it's really starting to affect a lot of people because the panic, it's like a real panic. I'm getting that like breathless, and the fear and the panic is just really rising in a lot of people. and this is right around the globe, this isn't a lot of countries, this isn't just about the virus anymore. I think we can see that this has become a bigger, much, much bigger actually issue than just dealing with a virus. You're now dealing with different classes in society that they have managed to break down into different categories. That's something I'm definitely seeing, and that's really strong at the moment. There's a lot of panic and fear going around about the smaller divisions that are happening before our very eyes, actually. Now they're showing me that the trains have left the platforms. So we're all on our own train. So there's kind of, I talk a lot about there's that central hub in the middle, and the sort of train tracks are veering away from that now. So I feel like by now pretty much most people have jumped on their own train of thought. So it's really about your train of thought and the direction that you're going in. I think we could pretty much say that most people have sort of picked what direction they're kind of heading in. So you've got to make sure you stay on that train, and you stay on that smooth journey now, and you just keep going in that direction, because you will find that more clarity, and you will get more sort of clearer thinking as long as you stay on your correct train track. You don't want to be jumping off onto different train tracks, because that's when things become dangerous. And that's why they're using that analogy, because you don't know at any minute a train could come the other way and hit you. So you've got to kind of stay on your track in order to stay safe. And that's a message that I'm getting to you. If you've got people going on the other train track, just let them go. There's nothing you can do. I feel like it's all sort of been decided now. We've all made our choices, and some people are kind of still shifting in certain areas. They're shifting from one platform to the other. So some things are still being nutted out, but I feel like a lot of us have already chosen, and we're on our path now to find that sort of clarity. And this is why I talk about finding that support and having that like kind and that similar thinking, because that's the direction we want to go in, because that's where you get your support, and that's where you feel your strength, and that is where you're going to feel that's your safe place. So I'm definitely getting that sort of central kind of hub station, and the train tracks are definitely sort of going out in different directions. And this is what I mean about the big divisions in society. They're going to keep getting broken down now. So stay true to your path, because that's going to be the safest place. Don't keep getting on and jumping off and being undecided, because when you're indecisive, that's when you can get hurt. Like they said, jumping from one train to the other, for example, means you've got to run across a platform, and you expose yourself to dangers. So that's kind of what they're saying. Just stay very clear in your thinking. Now I'm getting a lot of fire in people's bellies. So I feel like the fires are really igniting. I'm getting the actual picture of an actual fire that has been started in people's bellies. So it's right down deep inside. It's almost like in our sort of the core chakras of our stomach region is really lighting up. Like this is a really positive light though, so it's actually showing me like that great inner glow, that warmth, that sort of warmth from within. And it's like they're sort of saying to me, it's like when you're feeling really run down, or you might have a head cold or something like that, and you have that even in winter, when you have that beautiful hot chicken soup, or a beautiful thick pumpkin soup, or something that is going to warm you from the inside out, and it always makes you feel good, and it makes you feel warmer because it's very hearty. That's what they're showing me. This is about warming yourself from the inside out. Now, I do get given a lot of analogies, because sometimes that's easier for people to relate to, because you can get that vision in your mind of how to go about doing some of these things when you compare them to our daily life. And that is just to explain to you why I get so many sort of visual analogies. But this is what they're showing me. It's that warming yourself up from the inside out now, because this is how your spirit starts to evolve, and this is how you light up your life and start to reclaim that purpose and that strength and the things that you're wanting out of life. We don't want to be stuck in misery and doom and gloom, and oh God, it's just becoming like so depressing right around the globe. Having to fight all the time is making us tired and exhausted. Now it's time to nurture ourselves and warm ourselves up from the inside out. And that's why they're saying to stay on that train. Stay on that train and keep moving forward. You don't want to stay stuck parked at the station. You want to keep moving. So stay on your train. And that's a very strong message that I'm getting today, because that's how you get that fire in your belly again, and you start to reignite your life and get that spark ignited. And that's definitely something I'm seeing, is that warmth in the belly. Now I'm getting back to the herd immunity again, like I said in the very beginning about the cattle stampeding over the fences and breaking things down. I feel like a lot more is going to be starting to come out about immunity. I feel like there's going to be a lot more discussion starting to happen. People are starting to talk now about how do we get out of this, and I feel like people are starting to look at other avenues. I mean, logic would tell you that if we look at Japan using ivermectin, there's a lot of options. We can certainly use vitamin D, zinc, I think it's vitamin C as well, but there's a lot of other options that will probably have a lot less side effects going forward long term. So these are things that I really feel like are going to start to be discussed. I think in Australia here we're allowed to use ivermectin for scabies and things like that. So, but it's illegal to use it for other things. So I just don't understand why they're not looking into other avenues, because this is kind of really, the cycle is just repeating itself, and it's really not slowing down the spread of any of these so-called variants that seem to keep arising. At the present moment here in Australia, they're just talking about another Omicron variant. It's just kind of getting a little crazy. So I feel like that's something that's going to start being talked about now. People are going to actually start to ask questions, and they're going to wonder why, like, these epidemiologists and scientists and that aren't looking at the avenues that we know are getting really good results. They've had sort of medical pack things that they've given out in India, and I think it's even in Africa, where they have ivermectin, vitamin D. There's certainly options that are working now. So it's kind of, I think people are starting to doubt and query a lot of things, which is a positive thing. We want that going forward. We don't want to continuously be going along with lockdowns and mandates, and it's kind of getting ridiculous now. And like I said, it's that snowball effect where it's just got bigger and bigger and bigger. Well, now it's time to kind of melt that snowball, and let's go back to the beginning and start and work with something that we know is going to get positive results. Oh, I get the heading of the crying game. So I feel like there's a lot of this kind of crying and like boo-hoo and woe is me. And I feel like people are going to really feel a deep, dark sadness is coming over the masses. And I really, really believe it's about that giving up of control, because people, as much as they're wanting to really believe that the current things that are going on around the globe are the truths, I think deep down a lot of people's gut feelings and internal thoughts are feeling very saddened. I feel like they're feeling disgruntled. They're feeling saddened. They're wanting to have a good cry because they feel so overwhelmed by the enormous amounts of information that they're being fed on a daily basis. Gosh, I don't even watch the news here, and I turned it on a minute ago just out of curiosity to sort of kind of see where we're up to. And it was like, again, the heading was like New South Wales deadliest day of the virus. And it was like, what? Like, it's just, honestly, the headings are getting like really crazy now. How can every day be the deadliest day of the virus when we're double vaxxed, got boosters, they've implemented all these vaccines, and we're still having the deadliest days of the virus? So I think a lot of people internally are feeling this like deep sadness, like you promised us this would work and it's still not working. And now a lot of people are still full of fear and panic, and they don't know what to do, and they're relying on these so-called authority figures to give them the information to help save everybody. And now they're feeling let down by these people. So I honestly believe that there's a lot of this sadness, still confusion. but also it's like causing this deflated energy where people are starting to really get depressed out of this. And it's almost like that, is it PTSD, where it's like the post-traumatic syndrome. There's going to be I believe, a real COVID post-traumatic syndrome. And don't think that's just going to be in adults. I think this is going to be in kids as well. I think people will be very surprised how this has had a huge impact on kids. And we might not see that for a few years, but I really feel there's going to be a real spillage of all this drama and all the fear and the panic. And I really believe there's going to be like a post-traumatic stress to do with COVID, because people have lost jobs, they're suicidal, they're so depressed, they're feeling like it's all a lost cause. It's people I know around the globe, and a lot of you guys that I connect to, we don't have a voice, we can't get things out, so there's a lot of frustration. It's bewildering how we even got to this point in such a short time. Like, the world has just completely turned on its head, and everything, it does actually feel like, for anyone that's seen Stranger Things, it feels like we're living in the upside down world, I think it's called. But that's how it feels. It feels like we've been flipped on our head, and what the heck is happening? We're all like disorientated. So that's something I'm definitely getting, is definitely that's what's going to happen. There's going to be a lot of this post-traumatic stress that's going to start to really come out, I feel, in the next year, especially leading into 2023, because we're still riding this wave a little bit of the confusion and sorting everything out. But yeah, I really believe we're going to have to start looking at other avenues to sort this out, because we're really getting nowhere with the current things that are being implemented. Just aren't really moving us forward. We're just like on that treadmill, just jogging away, and no one's sort of going forward. We're just in the same spot as we were really 2 years ago. In fact, I think we're actually worse off. So anyway, that's just a bit of food for thought today on the 30th of January, just moving into 2022. I just want to say hi to my beautiful subscribers out there. I love hearing from you guys out there. I've got some in Canada, Germany, America, UK. It's just beautiful to all share and communicate with each other and keep ourselves going, because that's how we keep doing it. We all stay strong together, and it's by uniting. I always talk about that we can bring that strength and, hopefully bring a bit of an end to some of this crazy madness that we're all suffering through. So look, thanks for watching. Subscribe, of course, to my channel. Hit the bell notification if you want to know when I pop up a video. Hit the like buttons, because that keeps some messages going around, and I'll see you very soon. Take care.